Subscribe to Nigeria's Craziest. Press the bell icon and never miss another video update.
Nigeria's Craziest does not add a view of any political parties, individuals, or religious group. This show is just for comedy purposes only. It might contain scenes with strong languages, strong satirical humor, links to a relative you might know, and references some may find offensive. If that kind of thing will offend you, because close your browser now and
get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
Because that's what we do.
Comedians are absolutely insane. That means
Hi guys. yeah, welcome to... We told you guys we are going to follow this story to the end. And for those of you sending me stupid messages, sending us emails and saying nonsense, you don't have sense. All of you dropping nonsense comment on our videos, you don't have sense. But it's good, it's good. We have the negative and the positive. So, this story has taken another twist, and a news agency in South Africa decided to track down where Elliot works, his name and everything. So we're going to let you watch the video. I'm not going to say anything in this video because it's starting to feel like I'm victimizing, or Nigeria's Craziest is victimizing this pastor. No, we are not victimizing him, but just watch it and judge for yourself. I'll see you at the end of the video.
Definitely, Kathy, the man of the hour, identified in the video as Elliot, as said by the pastor, as he's performing that so-called miracle that we saw, that's really been making some shockwaves through social media, receiving some backlash from the religious sector. And all we knew was that this man's name was Elliot and was supposedly dead for a couple of days before the pastor performed that miracle. Now we've done some digging, and like you said, we've managed to actually track down his employer all the way in Pretoria, and we understand that his real name in fact is Brighton Moyo, and he is a Zimbabwean national, and in fact was working in this timber company since around June 2018. Now, to give us more detail around that, I am joined by his employer, Vincent Amaroti. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and just give us a brief history about what you know about Brighton and how the working relationship was with him here at your timber company.
He was a very nice guy, and he came here about 6 months ago to learn the woodworking industry, and he was very willing and very able, but he was always very smartly dressed, and he at the Christmas party at the end of the year, he was one of the smartest. He learned very quickly, and we made him an assistant machinist where he was planing timber. He did cut the end of, just nicked the end of his finger, and it was like the end of the world. It took his confidence away for quite a long time. But he worked well, and he was a nice guy, and it was an absolute shock to see him in the video and to recognize him with his mouth wide open.
Tell me about that moment. Exactly where were you when you saw the video, and what went through your mind when you saw him and recognized him?
Well, we suspended him a couple of weeks ago for missing a Monday and coming late on a Tuesday. And he was suspended with full pay, but he never came back. And we wondered what happened to him. And one of these friends brought a video into the office and told us that Brighton had died. And I love my employees. We've got 50 guys here. And to know that one of them had died, I was shocked. And when I went to look at the video, and I saw him lying in the coffin, and I saw his mouth moving, I said, he's not dead. And then we saw him breathing, and then we saw him come to life, and those eyes looking all around. It was crazy. So it was a big joke.
Yeah. Tell me, I understand, of course, he was quite an avid believer in this pastor, in the church, very religious. He was a member, according to what you know.
He was a member, and they all talk about believing in the things and all that, but I believe his sister and his aunt and another family member are in the church. And he, from what I hear from my staff, he was trying to get people to come and do the act with him. So I believe he has done a stunt in the wheelchair where he got up and he walked away. And he tried to, solicit some of the people that work for me to come and do the shows with him. So it's an ongoing thing.
So it seems that it was almost a part-time job, this kind of work for him.
I think so. And I think that's why he was here, to get the guys to go with him to go and act up on the thing.
All right. So you're saying you haven't seen Brighton since around the 4th of February.
Yeah.
Would you like to have him back?
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
It'll be a new guy. It won't be the old guy.
Thank you so so much.
right.
All right. Just also lastly, did he give you any problems? Did he seem like someone who's strange? I mean, what kind of a personality did he have?
He had a very egotistical personality. So if you made a mistake and you screamed at him, he would throw a lip for about, a couple of hours, and it would be difficult to get him to understand that the only way you learn is by making mistakes. So I think this mistake of him in the coffin, I hope he learns a lot, that God won't be happy with him, eh?
Yeah. And lastly, how have your efforts been to try and track him down? What attempts have you made? Have you been able to contact his family, or have you maybe been to his house?
No, I haven't been to his house. I haven't been there, but we have phoned him on a number of occasions, and we have tried to find out where he is, so that to find out whether he's coming back or not, and to see whether we can replace him. And we're going to have a disciplinary without him here, because that's the normal way of doing it. But it's a pity. He was a good egg.
Yeah. Any last words for Brighton? Maybe just a plea to maybe come back to work?
Yeah, come back to work, Brighton. You're a good guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Kathy, I'm now going to just walk you through into the timber company. We're going to be joined by one of the employees. I apologize for the shaky visuals. We're going to speak to Henk Swanepoel. I'm just going to ask him to come through. He worked quite closely with Brighton. Henk, thank you so much for joining us. Tell me exactly what you know about Brighton. You spent a lot of time with him. You worked closely with him.
Yeah, I did. Brighton was what I would call one of our star employees. Very, very smart guy. Always on time. Generally, really a good worker. I'm very, very shocked at seeing this little clip that I saw. It was, that was quite something. Yeah. Brighton's the kind of guy, if you ask him to do it, you ask him once, he does it. He's, really a bright person. Yeah.
What did he specialize in, and did he speak about the church or the kind of work he did for the church?
Well, personally, no. We weren't really on I'd say, close friendship basis. I knew that he did go to church. There were some evenings where they had evening prayers. It's as much as I know about the church. Brighton was one of our planers. He was a machine operator, which is pretty specialized. He works on quite a dangerous machine, and he actually cut himself the other day. Did a little nick on his finger, but he was okay.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people are angry at the video. Others find it funny. Do you think it's an issue, what he did there, faking his death possibly?
Sure, I would say it's a huge issue. If you look at the size of that congregation and how many people are there, and they're all there to be inspired, and they're all there to believe, and they do believe, and sort of, leading them on like that, I think it's a massive issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's people's beliefs. You're playing with people's emotions.
You're playing with the soul. You're playing with spirit. It's a big deal. You can't just do that. You shouldn't do that.
It's a bit of a dangerous game.
It's a very dangerous game, and I wouldn't have ever expected Brighton to do this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And you haven't been able to get in touch with him either?
No, I haven't. We've been trying through his friends to find out what's happening with the guy, where he is, but no, nothing. Right. Not yet either.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Kathy, I'm going to take you through to Brighton's place of work. It is a bit loud. That is why I decided to conduct the interviews just outside of it. And as you can see, it is a timber company. They specialize in woodwork and in making some glass as well. And so this is basically what Brighton did on a day-to-day basis. I am told that he used to work on one of these machines, in fact, which is responsible for smoothing out wood. So as far as we know, nobody has been able to get a hold of Brighton Moyo. I'm making a plea for myself. I would love to speak to him, and if he is watching this, please come and speak to us, Brighton. We'd love to hear from you.
Fantastic work out at the foyer, the place of employment, because he's not suspended just yet. The place of employment of the resurrected man, Brighton, as you've heard then, even an appeal from his employers that he come back to work. They want to know whether or not he's going to whether he's going to come back to work. I hope this is a lesson to anyone who's thinking about doing this, because Slindelo Masikane will hunt you down, and if you're not available, she will hunt down those that you have worked for in the past. So certainly interesting to get that insight from Slee.
Aha! So Faking of miracle is now a full-time hobby. So they try to bring people inside. Well, they try to bring people into it. They try to employ people. You know, if you don't have work in South Africa, if you cannot be a prophet, you can also be a miracle worker. You see the young man, he was paralyzed before. He walked. Now he died. He woke up. The next one, thunder will fire him. They will bring him back to life. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're in South Africa, you don't have work, contact Bushiri, contact Alph Lukau, contact Mboro, contact all of them. You have work. Just be acting miracles. That is it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video. If you come here and say nonsense, thunder will fire you. If you comment and say nonsense, thunder will still fire you. If you email us nonsense, thunder will fire you. If you email us and WhatsApp us nonsense, thunder will fire you. Anyhow it is, thunder will fire you because we are not the one that said it. See, his employer said it. Thank you. Hit the subscribe button. Hit this.